All right. All right, welcome everyone. I'm Kirsten. I know all of you, but in case I don't, Kirsten, Communications Events Manager at River District Association. And before we get started on our usual thing, let's go around and just introduce ourselves. And let's go ahead and start with Zoom people. Susan McCullough, do you want to go ahead, give us who you are, who you're with, and any updates, news, things like that you'd like to share with us?
Good morning. I'm Susan McCullough with the City of Danville. Just here to learn about what's happening there. We are working on different housing and residential infill projects right now, trying to encourage that needed housing stock. But hoping to hear what's up today with the River District. Thank you.
And Jasmine is on, but she said she can't for some reason talk this morning. So welcome, Jasmine. Thanks for being here. If you want to type any news or anything in the chat, I can relay that information. Otherwise, we'll move on to Kelsey, and if I see anything from you, I'll jump back to you. She's Jasmine Liscombe, and she's with the Virginia Diverse Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. Representing. Awesome. All right, Kelsey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I can't really show my face. I'm not feeling too well. That's why I couldn't make it physically. But I'm Kelsey. I'm part of Influx Finance. That's my business. I'm here just to keep up to date with what's going on in the city.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Jasmine, yeah, thanks for sharing the link, Jasmine. She shared the website, so if anyone's interested in the website, we can write it down later and give it to you for the Diverse Chamber of Commerce. All right. Alyssa, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm Melissa Turner. I'm office manager here at RDA. I'm LaShawn Farmer. I'm the director of diverse. That's the other thing. That's the other head. Take that out. Director of Expansion and Design for River District Association.
Awesome. I am Carol Hilton. I am the regional sales manager for Lakes Media. Collectively here would be the Dan, Country Legends, and HLF.
I'm Kelly White. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships for the Dan River Nonprofit Network.
And I am Evelyn Riley. I am the Executive Director of the Dan River Nonprofit Network.
Will Mackerman, Programs and Services Manager with the River District Association.
Great. And the RDA folks will be giving an update in a little bit. So first we're going to hear from the nonprofit network. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to get your screen shared so we can see all of that. Oops. Hold on, sorry. What's going on here? I thought I had it up. It's always the it should work. Maybe. There we go.
Perfect.
Some people, can you see all right?
That thumbs up.
I think that's a thumbs up.
All
right.
All right. Is it okay if we want to sit? Can we sit? Do you want us to stand? Is it okay? I think I prefer to sit.
Oh, there you are.
So we are with the Dan River Nonprofit Network. I'm gonna kind of go into it in a little bit about what we do. But first I'm going to introduce, who we are. So for the next slide, you've got me as executive director. You've got Kelly, you want to say
again?
Again.
Kelly, I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships.
And then we are currently looking for a person to fill our open AmeriCorps Vista position. If you're familiar with Peace Corps, AmeriCorps is similar. It is a domestic placement with a nonprofit doing work in communities that the state and federal program AmeriCorps supports. So the nonprofit network is partnering with our state Department of Volunteerism, and we're looking for a person to come help us with Serve 365, which is one of our programs that, again, we'll kind of get into a little bit more later throughout the presentation. So if you know anyone who might be interested in working with a nonprofit like ours for the next year, it can sometimes extend into multiple years or into future employment. And you get a lot of great benefits from those positions. Different types of federal hiring advantages, educational stipends, all that good stuff. And we'll probably send out the link. I think maybe we can do that for everybody that attended. And we do have, for folks that are here in person, some physical informational sheets as well. So we are looking to grow our team in the immediate future with a new AmeriCorps person. We just lost our last one. They went back to school, and they've really set it up for success in year 2. So we also have a great board team. This is just our staff team, but just like any other nonprofit, our governance is our awesome board. We have at least one of our board members in here right now. LaShawn serves on our board. And if anyone has interest, let us know, and I can pass it on to the nominating committee. But that is our current staff team and board team. You can see everyone that's on our board on our website. We also occasionally get Bonner leaders from time to time, working with Averett. So that's really the face of the nonprofit network. And yes, we'll send all the information to folks on the on the call. So we recently redid our vision and mission statements for the nonprofit network, and they're not vastly different for those that are familiar with what we do. We work on nonprofit capacity building as a whole. So if you're familiar with, there are statewide nonprofit associations like the Center for Nonprofit, the North Carolina Center for Nonprofits. There we go. Let me get it in order. In North Carolina, for example, Virginia doesn't have one. So a lot of this work with supporting nonprofits is done regionally. We cover Danville City, Pittsylvania County, and Caswell County is our formal footprint of the nonprofits that we currently support. And that can look a lot like different depending on what the needs are for those nonprofits. It can be access to professional development, like workshop classes. It can be access to resources like our grants database or our volunteer portal. It can be access to technical assistance. It can be a scholarship or a sponsorship for them to go to a conference that they need to go to. So we help with nonprofit success in a lot of different ways. I will just go ahead and read off of the screen here our vision. We envision a world where nonprofits are impactful, sustainable, and work in collaboration to strengthen our region. And then our mission is that we strengthen and unite nonprofits across the region by building the capacity of the social sector to meet the needs of their communities, because we believe that stronger nonprofits then lead to stronger communities. We have got so many vital needs that are met by nonprofits in our community, as well as our cultural needs, right? Like we're going to be able to go and enjoy a show with the Danville Concert Association, or we're going to be able to go and support and volunteer with God's Storehouse and give back to our community. And so we have that belief that all those organizations need a diverse and varied types of support structures. And that's what we're here to really try to help with. And that's probably about as much as I can say about it without talking your ear off forever. So we can go to the next slide. This is a lot of words, but basically it tells you what we value as an organization and the way that we think that shows up in our work. So I'm just gonna not read this and let it live here, which we will send out. All right. Next slide. These are some quotes from folks that we work with, organizations and individuals over the years that have gotten benefit from the things that we do. And so we just wanted to toot our horn a little bit and kind of celebrate our success. And so we included some words from our peers in our learning communities here. And again, I'm not going to read these out, but we just wanted to include a little bit of perspective from some of the folks that we work with. Okay. And this is a slide that is some data. Kelly and I, we recently helped spearhead a survey that went out to organizations in our region to ask them what their capacity needs were. And it's really a state of the sector as a whole. It's a beautiful, large report. We can send that out. We worked in collaboration with a couple different capacity entities like our own. That way we get a broader picture across the state of Virginia. And we do also get data from the North Carolina Center for Nonprofits as well. And so these are 11 top needs that organizations identified that they would like to have access to over the next year. We're going to kind of build our suite of services at the nonprofit network around this data. And then we hope to repeat, probably not exactly this same survey, but we do hope to get some more local, hyperlocal data in the next year to 2 years by working with a data team and being able to get that for us. So this is what has come up. You can see a ton of different buckets here, but it's skills training, it's access to DEI training and services, it's leadership development, it's fundraising, and it's just, things that we want to know what's top of mind for the nonprofits that we work with. And so we are kind of using this, like I said, to structure our services. And we can go to the next slide. Some other key findings is one, workforce development. This is not just nonprofits, right? We all know that workforce right now is a hard thing to any organization, any business, trying to get the staff that you need to operate. And that's something that nonprofits are competing with, even more at a disadvantage, right? Nonprofits a lot of the time can't offer all of the amenities or benefits or competitive wages and salaries. And so we want one to change that. We want nonprofits to be able to offer those things more, but we also want to showcase how important nonprofit workforce is to Virginia and to North Carolina for the way that our communities operate. And so one of the things we do, a small subsection of what the nonprofit network does, is advocacy work. So we try to elevate the voices of nonprofits as a whole. And for example, with key finding number one with workforce, the state of Virginia is getting ready to overhaul workforce development. And we have a meeting coming up with the Secretary of Labor to actually discuss how nonprofits should be included in that conversation and not excluded. It's just, it's one of those things that I feel like at legislative levels, a lot of priority is given to different types of business and entrepreneurships and large businesses, and that's great, and they should be there at the table, and so should the public sector and the nonprofit sector. So that's kind of what we're advocating for, already working on that workforce development finding that nonprofits said were a major challenge for them. Along with collaboration convening, things like this, being able to just get into a room with each other and talk and have support for collaborations, whether that's anywhere along the spectrum of we just want to know a little bit more about what everyone's doing so we can point people in the right direction, or we have like an integrated fundamental partnership, or we might be talking about a merger, right, between organizations. So those are things that people are looking for, as well as evaluation data, being able to talk about your impact story. These are things that a lot of nonprofits are also looking for support with. So I think now is the time for me to stop talking and pass it over to Kelly, because we're gonna go ahead to the next slide, if you don't mind. Talk a little bit about one of our major programs that we have absorbed in the last year and a half. Yeah, so give us a little bit about history and also, why you think that it serves our community.
Sure. I became aware of Serve 365 probably About 7 years ago, when I was in need of some volunteer hours for an organization or group that I was a part of. When I came on with the Dan River Nonprofit Network, I realized that this was a platform that we hosted. It is a wonderful opportunity or a wonderful platform for individuals, organizations, businesses, clubs, groups, whatnot, to find volunteer opportunities as well as post their volunteer needs. And whether that looks like you need some volunteers for God's Storehouse to pack backpacks for the Malcolm Huckabee program, or whether you're looking for someone to volunteer to be on your board, across the board, it's one stop for all your volunteer needs. And that could look differently for everybody. You could be retired and you're looking for a way to give back to your community. You could be an engaged employer looking for ways for your employees to give back to the community. Students, I know that I have had 3 daughters, two that have graduated, one that's still in high school, that are in need of graduate of merit volunteer hours. Those are incredibly difficult to find.
Yes.
Unless you know someone who works for an organization, come on, I can get you a couple of hours for your kid. These are verified hours, so there's no question whether the kids showed up or not. And it's whether you're looking to build your volunteer resume for graduate of merit or graduate of distinction, or if you're looking to flesh out your actual resume to show that you do or a well-rounded individual. This allows you to export your volunteer resume. It never goes away. It's always there. You can log in. The app is fairly intuitive to use, which there actually is an app for Serve 365. And it is available to anyone in the community to use at no charge. Again, you can be a student, you can be whatever. It's free for the entire community. There are also opportunities. We do have several organizations who do also have court-ordered community service hours. That is not as fully built out as we would like yet. We are in the process of working with the court system and some of the youth. I can't recall who you guys were talking to.
We were thinking about reaching out to COs as well as
Yes.
to lawyers and as well as the judges, and really kind of thinking about how the system works of how are we letting people know that these resources are out here and which organizations accept it, but also letting organizations know that they can accept court-ordered service. And a lot of organizations get scared about it and don't think that they can do that. And so I think part of it is also having those conversations with the organizations to say, here is where it might be appropriate to engage with some court-ordered service to be able to help people that need to get those hours. And so, yeah, it's kind of twofold. Well, probably more than two.
Yeah.
But
It's lots of layers.
yeah.
But again, those are opportunities that are available. We are still in the building process for this. You have to have volunteers to make it worthwhile for the agencies, and you have to have agencies to make it worthwhile for the folks volunteering, because if you had the same handful, that may not appeal to everyone. So we are encouraging folks in the community to sign up, help us make this a little bit more robust. We are also asking that if you are an agency or a business or a nonprofit, church group, ladies auxiliary, a booster club, please sign up. It's a great way. If nothing else, it will help you organize your volunteerism. If you are interested in setting up an organizational profile on Serve 365, we would encourage you to give us a call. We can do step-by-step. We can come to you, whatever makes it easier for you to use this to your benefit. And again, it is completely free. And we do try to support this platform as much as possible. So again, we encourage you to sign up for a personal account or an agency account. And if you need more information, please reach out.
And, like we said earlier, that's really what we're looking for AmeriCorps Vista to focus in on and work on is the expansion of that portal, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of meetings to go and have these conversations with folks in the court systems, in the school systems, talking about integration with homeschool systems, with, and there's just so many layers, and Kelly and I can only do so many things, and we would love to have somebody who is partnership minded and someone who's, really into that outreach and connections type of work to join in our team. So if you know anybody, whether they're in a gap year between college or school, or just looking to maybe transition into a new career, that would be completely awesome if you could spread the word. So as we talk about workforce, it's hard out there, folks.
I was in AmeriCorps Vista
Kelly was.
for a little over 2 years, close to 2.5. I had an epiphany that I needed to change careers. The year I turned 40, I went back. What was going to be a gap year before I assessed and decided where I wanted to go. I thought, you know what, this will be great. And I decided to do a year as an AmeriCorps Vista with the nonprofit network. And that year turned into a 2-year and then a 6-month extension. And 5 years later, I'm happier than I have ever been in my professional life. I feel like I'm giving back to the community in a way that I've never thought possible. But I cannot speak highly enough of the nonprofit network, but of the AmeriCorps Vista program. It was something that I didn't know existed. And it gives, whether you're like Crosby or former AmeriCorps Vista, whether you're in a transitional gap year, and you just want to figure out what you want to do, where you want to go. If you are an older individual changing careers, it's a great opportunity to find out a little bit more. There are benefits and all kinds of good stuff that come along with that, but I cannot recommend the program enough if you know someone who would be interested.
Yeah. And a living stipend. It's not,
Yes.
it's not designed to be the most lucrative position out there, but
No.
it is absolutely something that we've seen work in our community a lot. There's been a lot of AmeriCorps placed here.
Do you guys have like a start date for it?
We have a start date, October 6th is probably not as viable, but that is one, because AmeriCorps does onboarding in a certain kind of more of a rigid schedule. So I think after that, it's October 20th is the next recruitment deadline.
Mhm.
And then that would be for a start date at the end of October or end of November. So they get onboarded by X date in the AmeriCorps system, but they wouldn't start until 20 to 30 days after that recruitment date. But the recruitment dates that are upcoming are October 6th and October 20th or 21st, something like that. So the next, before we go to the next couple slides, they are videos. So just heads up, we're gonna hear sounds. I think it's on autoplay. So it's gotta be a point of view of a volunteer that does use the Serve 365 portal. And then the second video is gonna be from a volunteer manager, executive director of an organization that we work with. So kind of two perspectives on that. And so we will go ahead and jump into that and hope that the technology is on our side.
No, fingers
I grew up in
crossed.
Danville. I don't live here that much anymore, but seeing kind of food insecurity and just all the people around here that need a lot of help and being able to actually do something about it, going out and actually being able to impact people in the community has been great. Initially, when I was looking for places to volunteer, it's kind of hard to find anywhere in the area. Serve 365 kind of was really good at congregating all the places in the area and finding storehouse and other places to volunteer. I think being able to like track the hours online has been great. So I don't have to keep my own track. I just put them on there. They can go in and verify them. So also just like finding new opportunities is really easy. You can just go through and see like a list of everything, easily sign up and just go from there. I think the people I've met here have been really great. Everyone's really kind, willing to help out.
All right. And then the next one is going to be from the
I
organization.
grew up in Danville. I don't live here that much.
Maybe it's the next slide. Yes, perfect.
Caswell County Arts Council, the mission of our organization is to serve the community, the surrounding community, as well as Caswell County through the arts. Serve 365, we are new to the program, relatively new to the program. And we have introduced our board members to the process. So anytime we have events where we have our board members participating as well as other volunteers, this is a way that they'll be able to capture and log in their volunteer hours. And what that does for our organization is that we can then translate that into in-kind service information to be used in our grants moving forward.
Yeah, so that kind of, did talk a little bit about how the nonprofits get help, not just from the actual hours and hands that they get through the portal, but they can also then write it into their grants to say, these are how many hours. We've had 300 hours over the last quarter tracked, and the value of a volunteer hour is over $30. And you can equate that to community buy-in. And so that's something that we want to, hammer home as a additional benefit for the portal. This is our final slide. I think that's got how to contact us, our phone number, our emails. Our email is also the structure of, if you want to reach me, it's Evelyn @ and then it's Kelly @ and Kelly's with an IE for the folks that are on the call. Yes. And so if you want to get one of us specifically, or just go to our general inbox there. And then on Facebook and Instagram, we're both at Nonprofit Network. And you can find all that on our website. I highly encourage, if you're not already signed up for our digital newsletters, that's where you're going to see stuff kind of compiled in the nonprofit community, as well as stuff from us, upcoming workshops and things. But in terms of being able to see something quickly, our social media is probably where you would want to follow. So just both would be ideal. And there's where our physical address is right now. We are on Sutherland Avenue, right behind the Danville Museum of Fine Arts and History. And so if you need to pop in, probably best to let us know just in case, because there's two of us. And, for example, we're here right now. So no one's at the office. But just let us know, and you can pop in if you need any help with, question about nonprofits. We've got a lot of people that come in throughout the life cycle of nonprofits, whether they're just starting and they are interested in maybe forming one, or they don't know if they should form one. And we can talk about what the different options look like, all the way to, this organization's been around 60 years, but now no one can find their paperwork. And what do we do about that? So, we kind of meet organizations where they're at and try to find solutions to anything that they're looking for. So that's really what the Nonprofit Network is. We've got a couple of events on the calendar. There's a ton that we're working on that we just don't have the date for right now. Like we said, around those key things that came up in the report, we're really trying to solidify workshops and resources around all of those. But for right now, while we build that out, we do still have a couple things coming up. We just had a workshop last week on board onboarding. So specifically, the process of your organization should have a built out orientation binder, your procedures that you go through with your board chair and your nominating chair and your executive director to kind of set the tone for getting new board members oriented to the work that you do at your organization. We also have a workshop coming up in January 18th, I believe, as well as we're going to have one in July. And we are kind of doing those around calendar year and fiscal year for when a lot of organizations onboard board members. And we want to kind of take the onus of organizations having to do all of the training around your general board roles, responsibilities, but also how to be a great board leader, team dynamics, all of that kind of stuff. We want to have those every year, cyclical, January, July. That way organizations know what's coming up and they don't have to bake that into their onboarding process. They can talk specifically about their policies and procedures, and what's unique about them and what to expect serving on their board and their committees. And so that's all something that we can at least take away from their plate. And so those will be every year. We've got, I'll let Kelly speak about our upcoming Nonprofit Alley that we're kind of co-hosting for a big event.
One of the things that we do with Serve 365 is we try to do several community outreach events, one being at the Festival in the Park, which I think everybody's probably familiar with. We will typically do one in the summer at one of the Kaleidoscope Pride events. That's their Ally Alley. And then our fall-ish one is at Howell, which is Halloween and the Old West End Lantern Fest, which takes place the weekend generally prior to or the weekend of Halloween. It'll be the 28th of October this year. And we are putting on a nonprofit alley there. It's limited space because it's on the lawn at the museums. So we try to get in as many agencies as possible. I think we've got room for between 15 and 20 this year. If you are involved in a nonprofit or a community agency who would like to set up or has interest in setting up at this event, again, these are specifically nonprofits. We try to keep that to community organizations such as DPCS or RACAP or things like that. God's Storehouse, things that if it's somebody that's campaigning for political office, we not a great fit for the event. If you have an organization that is kind of adjacent to that, but it's still like an insurance provider or you're selling a good, that's generally not a good fit either. We typically try to limit it just to nonprofits and types of community organizations like PADS or whatnot. But if you are interested, please reach out, let us know. We'll get you an application and see if, it's first come, first serve. But absolutely, if you're interested, let us know and we'll get the application out to you. And if you are interested in participating at one of the other community outreach events like Festival in the Park, where there is much more room and a little bit more wiggle room with who we can invite. Again, just reach out.
And there are volunteer opportunities for Howell on Serve 365 as well. They're looking for people at Welcome Desk. I know Will has already volunteered for one of those shifts. Welcome Desk and, runners and
Set up and
breakdown. Yeah. And, it's a really fun event. So that's our kind of most pressing upcoming need that we've got. And Kelly also handles a lot of our networking and events for that. So we had a lot in the summer.
Yeah.
And we, did, for example, I'll just talk about the Caesars one where we got to host some representatives from their organization that handles the philanthropy end of Caesars and where they give and who they can't give to, working with kids is a little sticky for them. And so things like that, we got to hear from a representative. We're planning on one with American National Bank soon to talk about how their, the merger is going to be happening with Atlantic Union Bank and how that might impact nonprofits that have accounts there. And so we kind of had some timely networking sessions as well. And then we do kind of more after hours social things with field trips to go check out different nonprofits. So those kind of just come up on the calendar every now and then as we can. And we've got, like I said, trainings coming down the pipeline. I think November, we've got some financial trainings for nonprofits that need to get a little bit more familiar with budgets and profit and loss and QuickBooks and all that stuff. And so I think we have talked a fair amount and Kirsten, I don't know if we are way over or right on time, but I think we're just about done, but we'll take questions if we've got time.
Yeah, go for it. Does anyone have questions?
It's just very informative. Like I said, it's like I knew they were here, didn't exactly know what they did. So, we need to chat.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon experience. We kind of like to take a back seat because we want our nonprofits to be the stars because they're the ones doing all of this, right? But
same thing with like the Danville, Pennsylvania Cancer.
Yeah.
It's like Melissa's my best friend, been a part of Colors of Cancer since year one, still was like, so what exactly do y'all do?
A lot.
How do you help people? What do you do specifically? So again, that for me on my end, and what I want to talk to you about is with the Lakes Media is like, how can we help you to get that message out and to do those interviews. And so that's why I want to get you in there. I want to get Mariah in there.
Absolutely.
Because that's where I may not have hours necessarily to volunteer, but I can volunteer radio time to help you get that word out.
Elevate the voices.
And
Exactly.
because we want to definitely be a big community
Mhm.
sponsor. So
Awesome. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate that. And that's one thing with the collaboration and networking is that we always hear about everybody's strengths and what they can provide, and whether it's their time or the talent, or they, want to be able to help in whatever way they can. And I think that getting people in a room together, virtually or physically, is something that works a lot for the public sector, for the nonprofits as well, because we have such a wealth of talent, and
opportunity.
we just want to be able to have a learning network all together with the nonprofits in our community. And it's not just insular too. We want to be able to connect our nonprofits to, yes, each other, but also to other resources in Virginia or to national resources. And so we work closely with like the National Council of Nonprofits, again, more so on like some of those advocacy pieces or larger conversations and things that are happening in the sector that have a rippling impact. When we talk about things like property taxes for nonprofits, and we talk about, because nonprofits pay a lot more tax than people think. It's just income tax that they don't have to do. So, we can also have those conversations where nonprofits don't necessarily have the bandwidth to think all about that aspect of nonprofits all the time. A lot of our organizations are the boots on the ground. They're working directly with our community members that need assistance. And it's great to be able to have the conversations with them about supporting and creating stronger organizations, as well as creating a better sector as a whole. But we know that it takes work to lead and have those conversations. And that's not something that's always top of mind for everybody. And so that's the kind of role we play as a neutral convener: access to resources, access to professional development, education opportunities, and cost savings opportunities, and really just a whole host of things. But that is what we do.
Awesome. Did anyone online have any questions or comments for Evelyn and Kelly? All right. Awesome. Well, thank you. Oh, did you have a question, Kelsey?
Evelyn, how do you spell your name? Because I know you said that your email was your first name at the rest of that stuff.
Yes, Evelyn is EVELYN.
L-Y-N. Okay, I'm glad I asked.
Yes, and you can
Spelled
probably
it wrong.
find it somewhere on our website on the About Us page
Okay.
as well. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Let's see, we have a chat thing here. Oh, said no questions, but awesome work. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, if anyone thinks of any other questions, of course, just chime in, but we're gonna move on to just some updates from the River District staff. Unfortunately, Diana had an appointment this morning, so she wasn't able to join us. She's usually the main River District update person, because she's on the inside, but so if there's anything, I'll check with her if there's anything that we need to get out to you guys about that. We'll send that in the follow-up email. But I have a couple updates. So believe it or not, it's everything Christmas happening already, so I'm getting organized for that. We've got, let's see. We've got, so for those of you in the room here as partners, stakeholders of River District, you are welcome to join our Cookies on the Plaza contest. So if you've got any special cookie, and I'll send this out as well. For those of you here, I've got information cookie. You have to all the ingredients.
Monday.
So anyway, I have information about that. We're kind of just sort of inviting stakeholders in River District businesses, just, for safety's sake this first year, to make sure we don't have random special cookies come to. So it's fun if you've got your grandma's favorite recipe. can submit that. We're asking for everyone to bring 2 dozen, and they're gonna be served at Christmas on the Plaza, and we're gonna have judges there. So winners will get, of course, bragging rights, but we also have a really cool platter from M Potters. She's making us a branded cookie plate, so that'll be a fun for whoever wins. Also, we have a website, which is cookiesontheplaza.com, which will be all the recipes from whatever year we're working on. So it's sort of a community cookbook. So if you're interested in participating in that, you can reach out to me, Kirsten at riverdistrictassociation.com. And for those of you in the room, I have some information you can take home with you. What else? We've got Christmas on the Plaza will be at the Plaza on December 1st. So it's Friday evening, and we're partnering with Parks and Rec. Their Luminaria Trail will be at the same time. We're also partnering with working with Smokestack Theater Company. They're gonna have some characters and stuff. So it's gonna be a fun, inclusive sort of brand event. So hopefully you can join us. It's from 5 to 8 on December 1st. We'll kick it off with the tree lighting. Then we have some entertainment, kids activities, face painting, cookies, hot chocolate, and just a fun community gathering. If you are interested in sponsoring Christmas on the Plaza this year, we would greatly appreciate that. We have food sponsors, which are $250, $500 for kids activities. And we have an entertainment sponsor and then a presenting sponsor, which is $2,500. So if you're interested in that, and I'll send this out as well, let me know. We would love the support. What am I missing? There'll be the window contest coming up. So there we go. Yeah, and River District dollars. We do not have the matching fund this year as we did last year, unfortunately, but they still make wonderful gifts. We have about 30 businesses downtown that accept the gift cards, and that will be on the website. When you purchase it, you can see where those are, and then they all also have decals on their doors, so you can catch them. We are also working to contact some of the bigger companies in the region to purchase them as like employee gift cards and things like that. So if you represent an organization who would like to purchase for employees, you can do bulk purchasing, and the fees are a little bit less, and there's some benefits to that. So if you have any questions, the information's on the website, which you can get to through the River District Association website. You can also contact me and for more information on that. I think that's all I've got regarding Christmas at the moment, and again, I will send that out. If there are any questions or anything, let me know. Otherwise, pass it to Will.
Well, I just have two quick things to kind of talk about. So tomorrow night we have an event called Startup Slam. So it's at 6 o'clock, Moz Cakes. And to kind of put this whole event in a nutshell, the big purpose of it is we're trying to, get people in front of an audience to share business ideas. So very casual, fun, totally low pressure. You don't need a business plan or anything like that. It's just get in front of an audience, sharing an idea for 3 minutes. You can also come and just listen if you just want to support people. But it's $10 a ticket. That includes food. So we'll have Firehouse subs, cupcakes from Moz Cakes. We'll have some kind of conversation starters to hopefully get people kind of connected and talking at the beginning. And hopefully we'll hear some good business ideas tomorrow. And it's just something we try and keep fun, and thinking of all the businesses that we like, that there's all kind of started with an idea at one point, and there is the execution that then you have to put in to make it an actual business, brick and mortar, making money, but it does start with an idea. So yeah, that's tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. We're still taking RSVPs. If we get 25 people in the room, then that'd be $250 that the winner at the end of the night gets to take home. So no strings attached to that money. So So yeah, we'd love to see everybody there. Just shoot us an email or we have a Google link on our website somewhere where you can just sign up. So that's tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at Moz Cakes. And then the second thing is just to let people know that Dream Launch will be opening next month for registration. So that's our small business class series. The classes don't actually start until January, but we're going to open up registration in about a month. So so just keep your eye out if you know of people who are anywhere on their entrepreneurship journey. From you could be a high school student just thinking about entrepreneurship to you've been in business 10 years, you want to refresh some of your business planning or financial skills. They can just reach out to me, contact me, and I'll let them know about the program. And the registration will be open basically through mid-January until classes start. So just keep your eyes peeled on our newsletter, Facebook. That's where we'll kind of post all that information.
Before we move on to Christmas on the Plaza, we always need volunteers. It's on Serve 365, I think already. If it's not, I'll make sure it's on there today. So yeah, go there and help us out if you need volunteering opportunity. All right, Sean.
So real quickly, just update, we did our second True North Speaker Series. We highlighted Kit Mayo. I know a lot of you guys know Kit. I think that was very successful. Also to hear some of the things that she's doing in the community that I myself didn't know, and some of the projects that's going on in the community that I myself didn't know. So I think it really takes a deeper dive into that civic engagement and also show that the sacrifices that people are doing in our community or that are not getting paid for, along with their job and the things that they are successful with. So that was really, really cool to hear her speak. October the 14th, River District Association, we're doing our last quarterly cleanup. It's gonna be in the River District. And we're gonna try to take it to the next level where we're encouraging businesses in the River District to also join on us on that day to help clean the outside of their building. So we won't just be picking up trash, but we also might be doing some sweep down to some buildings that are not being used right now to make sure, just give us through that fall cleaning for some of the businesses in the area. We also have our Vibrant Window project has flipped, and we got new artwork that's in the window at the building, some really new cool local artists. So it'll give you an insight of some of the artwork that goes on in our community. So you can see firsthand, you have an opportunity to buy or contact whatever you want to do, just contact me and I can make that connection. So that's some really cool stuff that's going on. And I think with that, I am complete.
Sounds good.
Awesome, thank you.
For your October 14th cleanup event, do you have a time set for that?
Yeah, it's on Serve 365 and it's 9:30 to 11:30. But yeah, we've had it on.
Okay, just 2 hours.
Yeah, it's just to show the businesses in the River District that, you know, we care about the upkeep of the downtown, but also give them opportunity to invest in some time to clean up and get some volunteers. And, you know, if they come downtown, they see what's going on. They also might be encouraged to buy, shop, advocate, you know, whatever.
And you can say that was in Serve 365.
It is on Serve 365. Gotcha.
Interview.
Yep.
Just. But also to piggyback, on Nonprofit Network, once you become a member, you get access to all the other people that's members. And if you have a small business, especially around consulting work or retail or different avenues, it connects you to all of these nonprofits. And when they begin to write grants, you know, you're a for-profit, you can't write a grant, but you can be written into their grant. So it plays a part. So how does Nonprofit Network connect to River District Association? Business is business. We have learned that in day. Business is business. And you want that connecting factor to these nonprofits as an opportunity to either be written in grants or to be part of a collaboration that you might have access to funding and people that you, as a for-profit, that you might not have, but through a nonprofit that you can be connected to. So I encourage people all the time, you know, oh, that's nonprofit, but it's all community and we have to all be connected to make this train move forward. But also it gives you access to programming and knowledge that you might not have as a small business that nonprofit network can connect you to.
Well, it's like, because at Lakes Media, one of the things we do, we do PSAs. Literally, that's all I did Tuesday was, we're coming into that season, it's fundraising season.
Yeah.
But we do PSAs, and that's no charge.
Yeah.
And then we also do, like I said, the interviews are free.
Yeah.
We go places and we'll go Facebook Live for you for free.
Yeah.
We offer all nonprofits half off of their advertising expenses.
Exactly.
So if we can train nonprofits when they're doing their budgets and when they're doing their grant requests and all to earmark some funding for advertising, because that's one thing I always run into with, especially nonprofits and small businesses.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
earmark it. They don't have a clue what's needed or anything
Exactly.
else. And if I can get in there and connect and have those conversations, I can help guide them to, hey, when you're doing your budgets, this needs to be a line on there.
Yeah.
And it's so many layers too of, right, we want to have nonprofits value. There's this, the elephant in the room, people call it overhead and things like marketing and things like certain staff cost and administrative work and doing your bookkeeping and things like this are overhead. But in reality, we all know these are just general business practices that you need to do. You need to have your lights, you need to have your insurance. You need to have gas
whether you're
in your car. Yeah, you have gas in your car to deliver meals to people if that's what you're doing. And, thinking about organizations and nonprofits, marketing might not be their strong suit for some of them, and they might not budget for it. And some of it is having conversations with funders and businesses and donors that are supporting the nonprofits through, financial means, and saying, it's okay if a nonprofit uses your X dollars to help them spread the word about the awesome work that they're doing. It is still ultimately a form of their programming, and they, and so we try to have those conversations with funders and with donors as well, and just try to elevate the idea of you're giving money to an organization because you trust them. You think that they are the people that can help move the needle on whatever this topic at hand is. Within, we also have transparency between organizations and your funders and everything like that. And so it's so many layers of the organization may not know what resources exist to them that they can use either for free or at a discounted service. And it's also, they might be scared to spend some money on it because they think that they're going to get somebody looking at them sideways in their annual report. Just another one. How much did you spend on this?
Well, another facet of my job is to connect a nonprofit that has something going on. I have for-profit entities over here that want to be a community sponsor, so they have the funds to pay for your advertising. I need to know who you are so I can connect you.
We can help with that.
And that's what I said, like, it's making those relationships. And there is money there. There are people that are go-to community supporters. They just need to know where to put their money.
Yeah, because with Farmers Consulting and Connecting, this is a plug, with Farmers Consulting and Connecting, when we do capacity building, a lot of times I'm working with nonprofits and small businesses, and they have this large strategic plan that they have to pay this consulting company $20,000 for, and they don't know how to implement it. And the strategic plan, it might say, oh, you need to increase your marketing. Oh, well, how do they do that? And how do you write that in your budget? So one of the things that Farmers Consulting Connecting say is, are you a part of the nonprofit network? When they start talking about board development, they was like, oh, it said that we need to increase our board members by 2% because we're growing. How do I do that? What does that look like? I connect them with that. And if they start talking about marketing, I can now say, reach out to you because you can get this plug for free when you're looking to, grow your business, even with small businesses. And I'm telling them, it may look like if you say $150 to be a sponsor in nonprofit hall event, look how many people that reach. That's marketing.
Right.
But they don't understand that a lot of times because they only see as a small business starting out, that's $150, and I was like, but look at the reach that it could be. So a lot of times doing that capacity work, in addition to saying, just here, this strategic plan is very important.
You have to bridge the gap. Yeah, the implementation gap. Yeah. That's where we live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Connecting this person to this person. Oops, sorry. Protein shake time. I'm on a feeding schedule.
It's like one of the cats with the thing there, when all the food drops out of the. That's the way I feel.
Thank you all. Oh, I got some chats that I missed. Oh,
The startup slam.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
You're on there. Yeah, so thank you, everyone. That was a great conversation. Does anyone have online, do any of you have any comments or last minute questions? Anything? Well, oh. All right, Evelyn, shall I just give you your email?
That would be perfect. I think Joanne might have came in a little bit after our spiel.
.org.
It's at danrivernonprofits.org. Sorry. Nonprofitnetwork.org was already taken. Yep, that's it.
Joanne, I just put Evelyn's email in the chat. And what's your website? Just to-
It's the www.danrivernonprofits.org.
And there's a website to learn more about the nonprofit networks. So for those of you online, you can go there and connect with them. And I will send their, if it's okay, if it's in your presentation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll send their presentation and information about other things we talked about in a follow-up email directly after this. So you should have all of that. Awesome. Well, thank you. With that, I think we'll call it a day. And thanks for everyone for sharing your Monday morning with us. We know Monday's always kind of, Monday. So we appreciate it. And yeah, thank you everyone online, and we'll see a few of you tomorrow night, hopefully, and have a great week. See if I can. There we go.